Well, good morning on a really foggy morning. I haven't made a video since harvest. Been meaning to make another one for a while. And we're about to start calving, so it's also warm enough to actually hold a phone and do some filming. These are the girls. I always lock them up here at night. This is the second night that I've been locking them up. I came out earlier this morning and just let them in. Over here they can go for water. But, this way then if anything calves at night, it's easy. I can just come out and check them. They're right beside the calving barn. And they're not out in the middle of the field in a snowbank. I also have a camera. I can look at them from my phone. I'll be setting up more cameras here soon, but just gonna walk through them, check there's no new calves. And I know there's a cow or two I'd like to hold back, maybe from going to the field. Holy crap, we have a calf. Here we go. I guess calving begins. But I gotta find whose calf this is. This is 48's calf. She was the one I was thinking I better hold back from the field. I gotta put the phone away here now. Alright, I got her in the barn. It's quite a small heifer calf. It's shark cross. How does its ears actually feel? The tips are pretty cold. Maybe go get a set of earmuffs. She's got to get to licking it more and pairing up here. She knows the calf was it, but in the pen with all the other cows, for some reason she's kind of running around. But she's a good mom. Last year had a massive steer calf. So anyway, calf's alive. It was sure trotting around in the pen doing good. Give them some time. Maybe get some earmuffs or something. I don't feel I want to put the calf in the box to warm up right now. It's not that cold. So we'll go check the other girls. Next bit of chores I always do, go check on the boys. I fed them yesterday. They still got lots of hay. See that they're all alright. That's Edward, he's the oldest. That's Thor. They're both Benlock bulls. And then this is Fiat, and that's Goliath, and they're McAvoy Charolais, and they're full-blood brothers, these two. And then we go into the calf pen, walk through them. So I just walk through the calves, just looking for anything unusual. For the most part, our calves stay quite healthy. I don't think we've treated a single calf. Just make sure nothing's caught up in the feed bunks and how much they've eaten out of it. I had a phone call from Dad, so I kind of had to cut that video clip short. But yeah, so we just checked the calves. And then always got to check what they got from mineral. Where is it here? Yeah, they still got some. Everything around here gets a TM with selenium and TM high boot salt blocks. And then they get a loose mineral mix. And then, is there any left in here? No, maybe it's the other tub. I got a mineral tub. Big believers in minerals for the cattle. And today is Wednesday, March 3rd. And like this is all the steers and heifers all in one pen from last year. We're gonna sort out all the steers except for the small ones we're gonna be shipping next week. It's high time to get them sold, I think. Like that's a nice big steer. He's probably 900 pounds, close to it I would think. So, yeah. Huh, Dexter? See, that guy, he isn't as big, but he was a twin. That's why he's 11B. His twin sister is 11A. Yep. Well, it's afternoon of the same day, but I forget to hit record on stuff. I did an oil change on my cockshot here this morning, and so I gotta start him up. Should be warm enough for a cold start here. Running this little mixer wagon now at the cockshot to feed cattle. So there's still some more work to do on that little wagon, so I might do some of that today. Let's see. Preheat them for a bit. Give him some throttle and see what he'll do. Oh boy. We might need some ether. Well, the next time I tried him, then he started up. I didn't have him plugged in, but it's just a little bit below freezing. So, sort of not too bad. One of the things I'm going to work on here is like this back here. It needs to get cleaned up, and a little bit of oil runs at the bottom there to lubricate the chain, and I'm missing some of the weather stripping, so take the wire wheel on the angle what do you call it, angle grinder with the wire wheel, clean that off, and then I got some more to try and stick on there nicely, and then you can seal up these back doors once I get it cleaned up. And yeah. Alright, well, I got that ground off, and I got stripping on it. Just down here, doesn't want to stick. I think it's just too oily. I didn't clean that off, I guess, with a rag and brake cleaner. I should have done that yet. Oh well, I'm going to close the door and maybe eventually it'll start to adhere. I've been having to use the heat gun to warm up the metal and the glue, and that's made a big difference. Wasn't sticking at first, so one side down, one more to go. Alright, there's the second door. So I only went up to where there still was weather stripping. That was decent. I didn't realize that stuff I bought was so narrow. I thought it was wider. Just the way they had it in the package. They had two rolls beside each other. I thought it was the whole width. Anyway, that should work. Good enough. I noticed that, oh, okay, that's why. I gotta loosen the other door off and just adjust it a hair. Okay. I'll get that fixed. I had to put a bolt in at the bottom there, and now the door's just not quite aligned. Bobcat cold start. Let's see how she does today. Not bad. Block heater isn't working on this thing anymore, but I think we're close enough to spring. I'll just wait till my next oil change to do that. It's just an oil pan heater. This Bobcat is oil cooled. So I'm quite bad at turning on my camera and doing any kind of filming during feeding. That's why I also haven't done a video all winter, basically. Just tend to get working and then forget about it. This little mixer, it takes 3 loads to feed the cows. But the big one takes 2 loads. I guess most people watching this video probably don't even know what I have for another mixer wagon. I have a Segi 5T. It's a twin screw vertical mixer. Bought this little guy mainly to reduce some debt on equipment once I sell the big one. I want to transition into grazing cows more And then just backgrounding calves, so smaller mixture to just tailor feed mixes to small groups of calves. And then I can run the cock shut on this mixer, frees up the New Holland for other work during winter. So this guy, he's a 3-auger horizontal. And it's got poly liner, stainless at the bottom, poly. Flighting on the auger's quite good yet. It's a little bent on this one here in a couple spots, but that's not too bad. And then the chain case at the back, seems like that's all in quite good condition. I had to remount the unloading conveyor here. The guy had taken it off for transport. So I got that all mounted back up, and then he lost. Well, I was maybe gonna go to hydraulic anyway, but on that drive shaft there, that comes from the back, PTO driven, and then there was a clutch that went to the unloading conveyor shaft there, and the guy lost that clutch thing there. Otherwise, I maybe probably would actually have used that. And then it just had a linkage, a hydraulic ram moved the linkage and then engaged the clutch to unload. But I made for now this pretty crude mount for the hydraulic motor. Probably redo that eventually, unless it keeps working. Well, then heck, just leave it. But I had a hydraulic motor left over from a silage bagger last year. This one didn't have enough torque for what I needed, so I went and bought a much bigger one for the bagger, and then I had this just sitting on the shelf. So that, and then the hydraulic lines I had on the forage harvester that ran the wagon behind it. So I had those hoses sitting in the shed too. So at least for now, then I was able to make it work. And then later on I'll probably redo the hoses and stuff, because this is the ram that would have engaged that clutch before, because then it worked with this valve here, and then you only needed one hydraulic remote to do the gate and the clutch to unload. So I can simplify that by bypassing that and getting rid of that other ram on there yet, for how I have it set up right now. But all in due time. For now it works. It mixes the feed quite well. And it's cheap. I just have to mix one more little load for the calves. Either tomorrow afternoon or Friday morning. Tub grinder's coming. I'm almost out. So I loaded a little bit of pea straw and green feed. I'll drive over and add a little silage, and then lastly a little bit of grain. So I'm not sure if you'll even be able to hear me around here. It's wheat with barley screenings. I had volunteer barley in my wheat crop until I cleaned it. So it's not quite free feed because I had to pay to get it cleaned, but they would have just taken it as dockage at the grain elevator. Instead, I can feed it. Hey, there's Mr. Dexter. So this is mixing a 2,000-pound load. There's, what, 400-ish pounds of silage, 400 of grain, and then that would be about 1,200 pounds of pea straw and green feed. And I put this old baler belting around it yesterday, but along this side here, I'm going to have to put a fairly tall extension. That's where it just seems to billow up on this side. and then we could fit quite a bit more feed. As you can see, like there's quite a bit more room for feed. It just likes to all be right here. We could get something higher here, then I can maybe then load it right up where I could feed the calves in one load, and then they'd be more comfortable feeding the cows those 3 loads. They wouldn't have to have them right full, or well, it'd be full, but like I could fit it in without it overflowing better, you know. So add that grain mix in for a little bit, and then I'll go unload it. And I forgot to film again, but there, calves are fed. Now to finish the other chores because we're done feeding. Oh well, some of the girls are coming home for some water, and sometimes they walk back, sometimes they don't, but we'll give her till around 10-ish o'clock. Then Dexter and I, we take and bring them all home, lock them up for night. I won't bother filming that because it'll be completely dark. So this will be the end of the video for today. Just gonna bring a couple of these minnow tubs into the corrals. That way they can lick while they're in the corral overnight and in the morning. Try and get back to more regular filming. It's actually, like I say, it's nice enough I can actually stand out here and do some filming. So, adios.